What is going on, guys? DragonTamerBlayde here, back from our Elder Scrolls Legends, and today I am excited, I am humbled, I am thrilled to continue the Frostspark card reveal hype train. Before we get on into talking about my opinions on the card, my feelings on the card, the synergies of the card, let's just show the card, right? Right. So it'll be on the screen the whole time after this, but I'm just going to show it up on the screen for just a second so that it's not blocking my screen while I'm talking to you guys. But here it is. Torval Extortionist. So Torval Extortionist is a 5-cost 7/5. Oh, the stats. With the ability Slay, gain magicka this turn equal to the slain creature's cost. So I'm going to move this out of the way. You guys are going to have it on the screen, and we're going to talk about all the different ways that I love this card. So first things first, without the Slay ability, let's not even talk about Slay yet. Let's just talk about the card. 5-cost 7/5. Is pretty darn good stats, especially considering you can hide it in the shadow lane. We've seen things like Lumbering Ogrim be almost playable because of the 7/4 stats for 4. And honestly, just that one little tick of health being able to take you out of lightning bolt range, I think would make Torval Extortionist a playable card just as a pure beat stick. But it's not just a pure beat stick because it has an ability. This Slay ability is one of the more intriguing ones that has been released in the game so far. And the reason being, we've got in the past a monthly reward card of Blackwood Distiller. And this card is really good because of the Pilfer allowing you to gain 3 magicka this turn. This card enables some pretty ridiculous kind of early game, like outrageous late game tempo play kind of thing. Like, on turn 5 after Blackwood Distiller gets played, if you can swing, you're playing 8-cost cards or more if you have the ring. So it's just like crazy advantage you can push as long as your opponent doesn't have hard removal. And that's just for 3 magicka. Torval Extortionist, with the 7 attack, it kills almost every creature in this game. There are very few creatures that don't just die to this, which means if you kill something like, for example, pretty common card to see in a lot of decks right now, Ancano or Laneth. If you trade into either one of them, you will gain 8 or 9 magicka this turn respectively. Which means if Torval Extortionist is on the board and it starts doing some really good things, you will not be limited by magicka anymore. It'll be like one of those memes where like, boys, where we're going, we don't need magicka anymore. Yeah, the only thing that will be holding you back at that point will be the amount of cards in your hand. Because you'll be able to just play almost everything if you start doing things. That's not even counting if you combo that with Brotherhood Sanctuary, everyone's favorite Slay enabler. You're getting 2, 3, 4, 5 times the magicka of what you killed. Not 5, but up to 4 times the magicka of what you killed. So with triple Brotherhood Sanctuary, living the dream, you go ahead and you kill an Ancano. You're getting 8 magicka times 4. You're gaining 32 magicka this turn. We're playing Alduin without ramping, boys. Plus, plus an Odoving on top of it. Screw it, we're playing whatever we want. So yeah, some of those plays that are going to be available. Obviously, it's not going to happen a ton, but just the fact that it's there. This is kind of my vision for Torval Extortionist. You're going to play it as a turn 4, turn 5 play. Use it as a beat stick since Slay Scout and other Slay decks like Halalu and Archer are kind of just mid-rangey beatdown decks that want to gain a ton of value through Slay. So 7 attack is going to help me do that. I'm going to be hitting your face for 7, and eventually you're going to have to play something in front of this Torval Extortionist to take it out. During which point, it'll be turn 6, turn 7, turn 8, when I'm already going to get ready to drop some of those bigger cards in Slay Scout, like the Blood Magic Lords or Naryus or whatever. And you play your 5, 6, 7 cost card to contest Torval Extortionist, and at that point I've already gotten a couple swings out, so I'm ready to trade this guy in. I trade, yeah, I lose a card on the board, but now I'm gaining even more magicka to push my advantage even further. So this card won't always be great when you're behind, because you have to obviously Slay to get the swing off, but just it being there, if you're winning, you're gonna win. It's a capable win more card, but there's a lot of things you can do with it. Even something simple Like if you have Night Mother on the board with a Brotherhood Sanctuary or two, which is kind of what you where you want to be when you're playing Slay Scout or any kind of Slay deck, as Night Mother is a good card in there for Slay enablers. I believe the guards are 1-cost guards, so even if you're just killing one of those occasionally or with a couple Sanctuaries up, you can turn one of these guards into 3 or 4 Magicka if you have enough Sanctuaries up. But Slay decks are not the only type of decks where I think this card is going to shine. I think another amazing type of deck that I got even better because of this card, in my opinion, although you can't quite do it from hand, Unstoppable Rage. So usually, if you're not killing your opponent with an Unstoppable Rage in a Rage deck, you're using it because you're pretty far behind and you need to clear a lane in order to stay alive. Usually at that point, you're way, way behind. You play your Unstoppable Rage, hoping to kind of reset things to neutral, but then your opponent gets first play because Unstoppable Rage is going to take up basically your entire turn, if not your entire turn. Now, with Torval Extortionist, you can pop that Unstoppable Rage, kill their lane, gain a buttload of Magicka in return, and you still have Magicka now to make some more plays to get you back out in front. The swing plays possible from being behind as a Rage deck that Torval Extortionist is going to enable, it's going to be able to take you from being like way behind to way ahead with one card. And Rage already used to be able to do that, but I think now it's just going to be magnified how much so you can push back from being behind. And that's not counting comboing Torval Extortionist with things like Apex Wolf that have already been revealed to be an even better Rage card. Obviously, you can't consistently do that, but you know it's an option. And the other thing that has me thinking when I see this card, and it's not a mechanic that's used at all in the game right now, but it's a mechanic that I think is kind of underlying, just kind of waiting to be used. There just hasn't been enough support yet, and I still don't know if this will quite be enough support for it to be a thing, but I'm at least intrigued by it. And where is this card? Is it the 4-cost? All right. Well, it's the battle mechanic. Let's take a look at that. So, battle as a mechanic is, in my opinion, criminally underused in this game. And by criminally underused, I mean not at all. But things like Fighters Guild Steward now, being able to drop Torval Extortionist and use Fighters Guild Steward to make him swing right away, essentially giving him charge in a way, kind of turns Fighters Guild Steward into a combo removal spell with Extortionist. And if Extortionist survives, it allows you to gain that Magicka right off the bat, allowing you to push more stuff onto the board. Or, obviously, if you want to go face with Extortionist and then use Fighters Guild Steward to trade, it's an option. So, there's a lot of these battle-type cards, Duel Top the World. I think we have a couple other cards. I'm not sure. Umbra is one that you're not going to really use, but mostly Fighters Guild Steward and Duel Atop the World. I'm not saying that this card will be enough to make these cards playable, but I think Torval Extortionist is one of the few cards in the game that has that 5 attack for, let's say, a Dagoth deck that wants 5 power matters. It has a powerful Slay effect, so you're going to want it to battle enemy creatures so you can proc the Slay effect. And it's also a good enough card to play on its own that you're not trying to force the card into your deck for battle synergy. Still don't think battle's quite enough there to be used, but it may be something that you may be able to tech into a Archer or Halalu deck as a pseudo removal type of thing that kind of can gain you some tempo for using it. We'll see if that remains. Well, it remains to be seen if battle can become more of a thing in that regard. But I think it's worth mentioning how well Torval Extortionist synergizes with battle. So I think, obviously, all Slay decks, this card is going to be awesome. Rage decks, I think this card is potentially a superstar in those decks. Not necessarily a flat-out game winner, but with the aid of improvised weapon or just using his ability in general can be amazing, if you want to combo it with Apex Wolf. So Rage, Slay deck, potentially battle, and honestly, if nothing else, I think Torval Extortionist is completely playable in just regular beatdown decks, beatdown mid-rangey type of things. Putting a 5/7 out on the board on turn 5 is kind of what a lot of mid-range decks want to do. There's not a lot of 5-cost cards that have super impactful right-away abilities, so playing a big body isn't the worst thing all the time. and it's the type of card where if you're forced into a situation where you need to trade, this wouldn't be the worst thing for you because you at least gain a benefit from trading. So I think the card has a lot going for it, and these are just a few of the obvious synergies. There's a lot going on with this card and a whole lot of different ways that you can use it. And I'm interested to see how it can be used. So let me know what you guys think down below in the comments section, how you're planning on using this card or how you think this card can best be used. I'm super excited to hear what you guys have to say. I'm very excited about this card. I think it's a very, very good card. But yeah, that is going to be it for now, guys. As always, thank you all very, very much for watching. I'm DragonTamerBlayde, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.